All right, hello and welcome to a countdown video. We are counting down the legendary dragon spirits of the new Kamigawa Neon Dynasty set with a focus on the standard Brawl form. These are my opinions of the order in which I think they are from the least to the best. So we're gonna get right into it. Our first legendary dragon spirit is Kyodai, Soul of Kamigawa, 3 mana or 4 mana 3/3 flash flyer, and it gives you another target permanent you control indestructible for as long as it is on the battlefield. This could be a fun aggro 5-color deck, but honestly it doesn't really intrigue me that much. It's a trick with a body that you can pay 5 mana into to make it an 8/8, but at that point you're probably going to be targeted down. It does make it so that I have a harder time getting rid of something else, but I'm not that impressed with this card in and of itself. It's a cool one, but it is number 6 on my list of the 5 dragons. All right, we're going to get into the next one on my list, which is the green one, Kura, the Boundless Sky, 5 mana 4/4 flying death touch. So they all have flying plus another ability. Death touch on a 4/4 is kind of like at 4 you're pretty big already. And when it dies you get to find 3 land cards, put them into your hand, shuffle your library, or you create an XX green spirit creature token where X is the number of lands you control. We have a Planeswalker in Ren and 7 that already kind of does both of these. You can search for land cards, and you can make XXs that actually have reach as well. So, in my opinion, of the straight colored spirit dragons, or dragon spirits I should say, this one is number 5 on my list. There are other cards that do very similar things to this, and yeah, that's why it's here. Death touch is not great, or it is good, but it's not great on a 4/4. Number 4 on my list is the red one, Atsushi, the Blazing Sky. Is a 4 mana 4/4 flying trample. You're gonna have to make it a little bit bigger for the trample to be relevant. And when it dies, you get to exile the top 2 cards of your library until your next turn. Until your next turn, you can play those cards. So you get a little pseudo draw when it dies, or you get to create 3 treasure tokens. And I think those are going to be the ones you use, because as this is your commander, those treasure tokens can help you cast it again. So it does have some resilience there, and as a red commander, I think it's going to be fun to play. But I do think some of the other dragons are much more powerful. When I go and play the decks, I will fill out more information on like what cards to play with them. But for right now, I just want to give my quick opinion on each one of these legendary dragon spirits. So this was number 3. On to number, I believe this is number 3. Io, the Dawn Sky, 5 mana 5/4 flying. This has vigilance, so it does block and attack, and you get to do 2, I think, fairly powerful things by looking at the top 7 cards of your library. Put any number of non-land permanent cards with total mana value 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you could build your deck around like a white weenie idea with this as kind of your top end, and then when it dies you get to hopefully have a pick of a couple creatures that can replace it. And then putting 2 1/1 counters on each permanent you control that's a creature or a vehicle is also another very powerful ability. Do I think it's the most powerful? No. Do I think it could be a fun deck to build around? I think it has some merits. We'll look at building the decks later when I actually get to a video where we play these commanders. So we have 2 more to go. And I think the second best dragon spirit is Kairi, the Swirling Sky, 6 mana 6/6 flying ward 3. So the ward 3 here is what's really important on this one. Being a big dragon, sure, we're kind of more into the later game, but paying 3 extra on top of a removal spell usually will mean that they can only play 1 spell that turn to get rid of it. And then when they get rid of it, you can return non-land permanents with mana value 6 or less to their owner's hand. So they're losing a lot of tempo by killing this, by returning those. Or you can build a deck that is very heavily in the instant and sorcery cards, and then you can use a second ability by milling yourself for 6 cards and returning 2 instants and or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. That is very powerful. Usually spells that do that exile themselves. So being able to not have that, being able to, for this to be coming back again and again and again and again, could be a very powerful thing. And that ward 3 makes sure that it's going to take some effort to get rid of, and they're going to lose tempo in the meantime. And I think the best of the dragon spirits, in my opinion, and the one I think it might be the most fun to build around, is Junji, the Midnight Sky. 5 mana, 5/5 flying menace, so it's going to be harder to block. And when it dies, you can either have each opponent discard 2 cards and lose 2 life. That's not the one I'm really looking at here. This is a very good graveyard recursion commander, putting a target non-dragon creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose 2 life. You can pick your opponent's graveyard. You can build your deck to make it so that it fills itself with its own graveyard. I think we have a mono black reanimator commander here that I think is going to be very powerful, and I think there's enough cards in the current standard format that you can build around and be fairly successful with this as one of your key reanimation activators in and of itself. It's also a 5/5 flyer, so it can do some damage and has to be double blocked. So those are the 6 legendary dragon spirits of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and the order that I think that they are numbers and how I think they're going to work. Number 1, Junji. Number 2, Kairi. Number 3, Io. Number 4, Atsushi. Number 5, Kura. And the last one, Kyodai, is number 6. Well, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. Mr. Pisto to you. Bye for now.